You are about to witness the very exciting story of a city and its people. That city is Detroit.
Detroit emerged from World War II as one of America's great industrial powerhouses.
Living just enough for the city.
The 67 riots in which 47 people were killed and 7,000 arrested.
The worst day on Wall Street since the crash of 1987.
Let's talk about the speed with which we are watching this market deteriorate.
The weight of its debt, especially because of pensions liabilities and healthcare liabilities for the many city workers, plus everything else that you need to run a city, has simply crushed Detroit. Late last night, it declared bankruptcy.
I believe Detroit is on the front porch of the greatest urban comeback story in its nation's history. And it's because we've learned to put our petty differences aside and focus in on things that benefit the whole community. That's why we're going to be successful.
We are good people. We're hardworking people. Perception is not the reality. We've had a number of bad stories told about us for years and years. But the reality is that we have a number of great and friendly people who are hardworking people who want to do everything they can to change the world.
This house is not a dead zone. It's a happy place. I've been rooted here for almost 7-8 years now. I went through a program called Paramount Land Holding. They had a sign in the grass and it said $500 down, $295 a month, and you will go into a 15-year payment agreement. But you bought the house as is. I've never once got any tax notification about the house. Something told me to look into the Paramount Land Holding thing that closed down, and it came up that they were flipping houses. Then this postcard come in the mail and saying call this number for property foreclosure. When I called the number, sure enough, they told me that the house was up for foreclosure. I did everything in my power to do research on what was going on because I couldn't get help when I needed it. So this one particular day, the kids are in the front yard and they're playing. And my son come in the house, he said, "Mom, it's a lady outside in front of the house. She wants to talk to you about the house." And she said, "Hi, my name is Michelle," with this beautiful smile. And she's like, "I'm working with the Tricycle Collective and we were talking about foreclosed homes and we wanted to help." I was already in. I already had money put up in the books to hold my spot for the bidding process, everything, when I talked to Michelle. The day of bidding was drastic. Michelle would call me and she was updating the day of the auction. She's like, "Don't worry, Jakaya, it's a $600 bid on it." She's like, "But that's okay, that's still low." Another car pulls up and it's a guy. It's an older white guy, and he walks up to the steps and he said, "Do you know your house is up for foreclosure?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do." He like, "Do you want to stay here?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do." He like, "Oh, okay, well, good luck." As soon as he left, the price went up and it grew rapidly. I'm frantic at this point in time. I just dropped down to my knees and I just cried and I prayed. And she like, "Don't worry, I'm gonna do a proxy counter bid." The proxy bid, do I want to go through it? And my mind is just like, you don't have this money. But then I'm looking at my babies, my son, he's crying now. And I'm just like, do it. Whatever it takes, by any means necessary, do it. When she hit the button, she did the proxy bid, and she just turned to me and she was like, we got it. And I just dropped, I just bawled. I cried so hard. It was a happy moment. I still am thinking about it because, like I said before, going through the situation was terrible. Right now, we have started reconstruction again. We are working the basement up. Then the next project will be the kitchen and this main floor. And then we'll go work our way back upstairs to the kids' room. But we're gonna get it together slowly, but surely it's gonna come along for us.
He didn't come with an instruction manual, and I became overwhelmed because then I started wondering, like, how am I going to give him this good life I had envisioned, because it doesn't seem to be folded out the way it was in my head. So, I would say that I had some difficulties when I started a family of my own because of the issues that I had gone through. When I went to foster care, I think that foster care was probably in the beginning stages. It was quite an experience. I was about 2 or 3 when they took us initially, and it took us longer than usual to be able to go back home to our mom. And during the time that we were waiting for her, she was murdered, so we had no hope of going back home anymore. And so that kind of changed the course of our lives. The family that I adopted into, both of my parents had gone to college. My mom was a school teacher. My dad was a pastor. We had quite a busy life. They taught us a lot of the things that we were missing from going from home to home and being a lot of different issues where we had missed and had developed some bad behaviors, bad habits, and things like that. When I first left, I was a stay-at-home mom, so I didn't have any income of my own. So all of a sudden I had to, go out and find something right away, find someone to watch my child, because I never had to look for a babysitter because I was always home. All of a sudden there's this person that's depending on you for everything, and you know that the things that you went through, you don't want them to go through, so that's added pressure. I can see the frustration, I can see the sadness, I can see when he sees other kids with their dads. And I can't be a dad, I can be a great mom, but I'll never be a dad, so. I was working for Burlington, but it was temporary. So after the season ended last February, I found myself out of a job, and I was living in one of my parents' old houses, and it needed a few repairs, so it had gotten very cold, and it got to the point where I wasn't able to live there anymore. And so I found myself out of doors, and that's how I ended up in a homeless situation with my son. During my time at the shelter is when I learned about the empowerment plan and some of the things that they had available for young women, and that's how I ended up here. I've seen a lot of people with our coats on, but a lot of the feedback that I get from the people that are wearing the coats, they really like them. They're very warm. They said they're very useful, very helpful. I like that what we're doing is helping somebody that's in need. Being here, I feel like I'm doing something that's really helping.
I say I'm very different. I think I have a different perspective of life. Some people may judge me in certain ways, other people may not. Some people may say I make them nervous or so on and so forth, but a lot of people say I'm really different than what they expected when I speak to them. I was born at Hutzel Hospital. My mom was pregnant with me while she was in jail. I was born about 4 months early because my mom, she's a drug addict right now, and she was back then. When my mom had me, I went to live with my grandmother.
I've had him ever since he was 2 pounds.
I live with my grandma now. I live with her for forever. She took me to elementary school, taught me everything I know. I'm a very bright gentleman because of her. My mom, I don't know, I don't know how my life would have been different if I was staying with my mom. Basically, the biggest problem in my family right now is the battle with the drugs with my mom. My mom lied a lot about her not doing it, and sometimes I might be really gullible towards her. So she might tell me, Johnny, I'm off drugs. I'm clean, okay. And I go back with her, and the same thing happens, and it reveals this stupidity about me. My dad, I don't really know him, not because he wasn't there. He died from cancer. And another man, his name was Pancho. And that was my mom's boyfriend, and they got married. I looked up to him as a really great father figure. He was like my best friend. We did everything together, basketball, he taught me everything. He got me into working out and stuff like that. He was just a really, really funny guy that I love. Another thing, he loved my mom too, which is really rare. No matter how bad my mom was, he was always there, always trying to help her. No matter how many times my mom keyed his car, stabbed his tires, did this, he was always there for her. He didn't go a single place. He died in 2011 the same way my dad did. So that's when I figured, like, okay, she's not changing. Since her love of her life died and her world died, she's really not changing, so I just accepted the fact it's the way she is. And I think that really messed me up. I didn't expect it to go like that. That led up to me a really bad rage one day. From there, they sent me to a hospital. And the hospital said I was suffering from depression and anger management. To be honest, that was the best thing ever happened to me. It's amazing how people are. I was see positive everything. Okay, my mother's on drugs, but I have a mother. This is a guy over here that would kill for a mother. Or people who would kill to see their mother were like that. I can't judge how she is. I can't hate the way she is because, let alone, she's still my mother. Mothers don't come around every day. You only got one.
I always love this city, and I'll do anything I can to help it. You know, because I am a Detroiter. I was born right down there. We lived at 606 Mount Elliott. And I know the area, but right now, I swear to God, I couldn't find it because Detroit has changed so much. I had a wonderful childhood here. There was always at least 8 kids in the house at one time. It was safer then. I had 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. My oldest passed away in 2014. He would have been 48. It still hurts when a parent loses a child. It hurts forever. That's another reason why I let go of the house, because it was just too many memories there. When I first moved on Fielding, we didn't have any vacant lots, none. I lived in the neighborhood, like I said, 45 years, and I knew everybody there, so that area was more like my comfort zone, because everything and everybody that I was dealing with in life at that time, we were all in the same little area. I got a $7,000 water bill. They knew I couldn't pay that. But the reason why they did it is to run me out. My water was off for over 2 years. What I did was, I got me a 55-gallon, put it outside my house. When it rained, the water came straight down into the barrel. My home was foreclosed on. They took the house. Nobody notified me. Nobody said a word to me until my daughter called me and she said, Mom, said, look at your house at the auction. Detroit, no matter where I am, what side of town, where I am, this is home for me. You guys learn to love each other, learn to live together, spread your wings, find out what's out there in the world, and then bring your butts back home.
My name is Rashawn Black, and I attend University Prep. And I'm in the 9th grade. I'm 15 years old. I'm from Detroit's West Side. Summertime is like a lot of kids be on the streets and stuff playing basketball. Family being around barbecues and stuff, trampolines. I'm living in Inkster. I don't see barbecues and kids playing basketball. Like, it's really nothing. I like where I grew up at because it's like more of where my family should be and like where we came from, so we'll like absorb better. I got 2 brothers, a little brother and an older brother, and I got 3 sisters. They all older than me, so I'm like the youngest girl. I mean, of course, sisters and brothers get on my nerves sometimes, but like they really help me. But you know, when it's like dark time and stuff bad happens, but like it's not bad all the time where I used to grow up at. But it's like it's the setting of crime and stuff like that. And my mom thought about the situation and she decided to move us out of that environment. Like I got an older sister. She's about 19, and she actually got killed, and it was on the news. It happened. I mean, cause my mom, she found out from the news because she didn't know if it was my sister at first, but when she watched the news, it like, it let her. I mean, it was her. Like, it told her that like what happened. She just knew it was her. So like that's why she started watching the news and stuff. It's like I'm really concerned. Like, is my family in danger, and like my friends' family in danger because of all of this shootings and stuff. My mom wants to move now because there's so much that happened in our family because of the crime here. It's just a good thing to be to care about your family. It would be like a nightmare if I was to lose one of my family members, not just the ones in my household, but like my grandmother or something like that. And like, it's really important to have your family around you.
I was just really scared and like just panicking because when I left to go to work, my husband and my kids were there, and I pulled up to see a burnt up house. My instant thought, like, where's my kids? I just want them to just go to school and do good. Long as they, doing good, I'm gonna, let them know that I can back you up in whatever you want to do. I know God kept me alive to be here for my kids. So I don't think it really made a difference with them because they didn't know what was going on. We never let them see like us being in a car or things like that. We had started putting deposits down on halls and different things, and the house fire happened. It was a house next door to us that was selling drugs, and I guess they got into it with someone or something, and somebody threw a bomb in their house, and it caught on to my house, and I got home and saw a burnt up house. Me and my husband wanted to be together. We had never really been separated. Even though we wasn't married, we had been living together for about 6 years. During the house fire, it was so much going on, I was supposed to go to work the next morning. And I was just distraught because everything that had happened to me, I didn't call in to work. It was a no call, no show. I honestly just forgot because there was so much going on, so I was fired the next day. So I lost my house, everything I owned, and my job, all in a matter of 2 days. So after the fire and losing my job and staying from different people, I couldn't get a job right away. Basically no one was hiring. So I ended up going back to school, and then I went from job to job to job, maybe about 4 or 5 interviews. No one would hire me. So I had an interview here, and I told them basically what happened. I went to school and I've been trying to get a job in this industrial sewing field. No one won't hire me because I don't have any work experience. And they was basically like, that's what we're here for. They just helped me. It was a blessing. They helped me so much, get on my feet. All the bad things that happened to me, like I said, was like a lesson learned. So I feel like if I can make it through something that was that hard, I know I can make it through this situation. Then I pray every day, and I ask God for strength and things like that so I can make it through the day and do everything I'm supposed to. I think I was put on this earth to be a good mom and to help people. Like what I'm doing now, making the coats for the homeless people that, so they won't be cold. I love what I do, and I feel like I'm helping someone every time I put a coat together.
Home to me means family, stability. The home to me really means just having something for my children. If something happens to me, I want to make sure, they're taken care of, that they have something. That's what family means to me. My name is Cassandra Mathis. I'm 29. I stay in Detroit, Michigan. After I had my son, my father got seriously ill. So out of 7 children, all the responsibility fell on me. So I took care of my dad for 7 years. He had high blood pressure, hypertension, renal disease, congested heart failure, kidney disease, heart disease. It was just a lot. So basically I took care of him up until 2013 when he passed. My dad wasn't as bad as everybody thought he was. He didn't know how to raise kids. His dad wasn't there, so he just did it the best way that he knew how. His mother beat on him, so I guess as the generational curse, he moved on to us, and then we went into foster care and went back and forth. But I held a grudge against my dad for a long time, but when I spent the time with him, I understood the way that he was. When he passed, it hurt me a lot because I was with their father also, and I couldn't leave my dad because their father, my 3 oldest ones, was beating on me. So once my dad passed, I was finally able just to let go. I took my kids, took them to a domestic violence shelter, got myself together, came back to Detroit. I met him at a shelter. Once again, I was in foster care. I'm not even gonna lie, we became smoking buddies, smoke weed every day. I guess at that time, I was trying to get back a relationship with my dad, and my dad didn't want to be bothered, so as any typical young teenager, they're gonna look for love in all the wrong places. The first time the abuse started happening, I'd have left then. Because I knew where it was going, but I was so stubborn and wanted to be loved so bad. I can admit that. I just wanted somebody to love me. My two oldest ones, when we were staying with their father, we were hopping from house to house to house to house. And I didn't want that continuing for my kids. As a mother, you're supposed to protect your children at all costs, even if it's their father or somebody you know. Regardless of what it is, as a mother, your first and foremost priority is to protect your children. What most matters to me is their happiness. I try to shelter them from as much as possible. I can't shelter them from everything, but as long as they're happy, that's all that means. That's all that means. That means everything to me.
If you've always known good, how could you tell me what bad was about? And if you've always lived a horrible life, you can't fathom what it is to live a nice life. My name is Miss Johnson. I'm known here as Lady. Everything that I guess I experienced in life has made me into who I am. My family was considered to be like the Huxtable family. I was already taking my father's illness very hard. He had a couple of light strokes and a massive stroke, which initially took me from continuing my education at Michigan State University and brought me home to Wayne State University. It started putting a lot of stress on me, and I had just became a new mother. He died of heart complications. Can't say much helped me when I lost my dad, and I didn't help myself. And it helped lead me to go right to a place that no one would have ever imagined me to go. I delved into the underground world, was around a lot of the wrong people, and lost like 5 years of my life. But when I say the underworld, that means where it goes to controlled substances, legal weaponry, and things of that sort. And right to prison. Monopoly game. Pass go, right to prison. Lost years of my life just for sitting in the passenger seat. And they said, well, you shouldn't have known him. And you were too smart to be around him, so this is your punishment. As I said, I went into a lot of learning and trying to wake up from the nightmare every day. It will test your strength as far as your emotional, your physical, your mental, your spiritual relations. And if you never went through a trial and tribulation, you wouldn't know truly what victory was. I have my own vision of where I am going to catapult from that experience. Never stop putting one foot in front of the other and stay hungry. Don't get content. Never get content. And no regrets. No regrets. Regret what you have not yet done, seen, or accomplished. That's what you regret. Learn from what you did wrong. Learn from what you didn't like. Learn from what hurt you. But don't regret it. Yeah. It's so much about me that makes me smile. I'm happy.
My name is Alexandria Washington. I've been living here since I was born, so 15 years. I lived with my mom when I was, I lived with her ever since I was born, but I stopped living with her around 7 years old. She just wasn't able to take care of me anymore, so I had to go live with my grandparents. She wasn't able to, like, financially, money-wise situations, and she wasn't able to, like, take me to school, pick me up, or go do certain things. She didn't have a job. Since moving with my grandmother, I have had more opportunities. My mom, she didn't have the money financially to go out of state or go places. I got to see a couple of sites that I wouldn't be able to see if I wasn't living with my grandfather and my grandmother. My first airplane flight was with them, so that was a good opportunity to do. I got to meet a couple of famous people with them, so yeah, that was fun.
Who did you meet?
I tried to identify myself as a independent person and a positive person. Try to stay positive at all times, even though it may be some trials that come your way. Try to stay positive.
Kind of get your thoughts together by the water, or I can. I don't know about everybody else, but I love being around water. My son name is Javon and my daughter name is Akila. My daughter loves to play basketball. My son likes to deal with science and bugs and things like that. They play. Yes, it's hard. I mean, it's not, even if I had help, it's still hard being a mother because you worry so much about your children. So, like, knowing that everything falls on me, I don't have a second person that I can call and ask to catch me if I was to fall. I don't have that. They still dealing with it. They want to know why they not allowed to see him. Well, it's not that they're not allowed. Why can't they see him? Like, they see me, what, you know, they, like, we should see both parents every day, but things happen and it's not possible right now for them to see him, so they just have to deal with it. A normal day would be get up, get the kids ready for school, take them to school, go home, get myself ready, look for some type of employment, newspaper, online, filling out applications or sending resumes. That was the normal day before I became homeless. When I was homeless, I didn't really have a routine. It was like random. The only thing that was in the routine was making sure the kids got to school and making sure they got home from school. That was on me. I would drop them off at my parents' house, or we'd go to the library, the park. It depends on the weather. Do the homework. The next 3 years, I would like to be in a better financial situation. I know things will change. Nothing stays the same, so it'll change.
It's kind of hard talking about it, but you gotta pull it together sometimes. It's been 2 years, almost 3. I haven't broke down since. I didn't barely cry when he passed away. And yesterday it just came all out. My brother passed away in 2013. He had a disease, it's a rare disease called adrenal leukodystrophy. He didn't have no white blood cells, so His ability to heal pretty fast was hard, so he'd be sick for a couple weeks, maybe a month. It really drove us apart, because some people came around to see my brother. I mean, they came to see me too, but when he passed away, everybody just went their separate ways, moved away. Don't call, don't text, don't send a postcard, no birthday wishes. So it was like the hardest thing for everybody, even the people on the block. We had a lot of family events when I was a kid, but as everybody started going away and passing away, it stopped. Like my stepdad's grandma, I call her my grandma, and my auntie, they passed away. So it was like, since they're gone, we're not coming to their house anymore. We're not having Sunday dinners no more. We're not having picnics in the backyard no more, where kids can run around and play. Wasn't none of that. It was hard at first. It was work. I didn't want to do it anymore. My behavior was pretty bad. Then I took grief counseling with the school, and it kind of worked out well. My brother, the one that passed away, he kind of reminded me that life is short. I was only 12, I think, when he passed. So just gotta live it to the fullest and try your hardest.
I was an addict for 36 years. Heroin, crack cocaine. It took me 36 years. I was out there for 36 years in the lifestyle. I married a man who told me if I marry him, I could have all the drugs I wanted. But that lifestyle caused me to lose custody of my kids, right? And I was dying towards the end. I was getting towards the end of it in 2006. I was dying, literally. I knew I was dying. And I was living in a crack house. That's how I was getting my drugs, because I didn't know where he was, and the kids were gone. I was 16 in high school. It was just smoking weed. Well, actually, we was drinking wine and smoking weed. And it was, we were, just having fun building our homecoming floats. It was cool. We smoked, And then when my mom died, that was my excuse to escalate into cocaine and heroin. Because I was like, why did she have to die? The pastor asked me if I would lead the prison ministry, and I told him, yeah. But to be honest, God was preparing me years ago. Most of the people I hung out with were killers, addicts, had been in prison, and I could communicate with them. I ended up at the bus stop, and I asked the bus driver to take me to the Herman Kiefer Hospital, which is where the city of Detroit would place you in the drug program. And I didn't have any money. I hadn't had a bath in about a year, hadn't combed my hair in about a year, didn't have on any underclothes. It was just bad. And he took me And I knew I was smelling pretty bad. And when I was getting off the bus, people was clapping, the ones on the bus. And I was like, oh man, I'm sorry. I know I smell y'all. I'm sorry. And he was like, that's not why they're clapping. They're clapping because they want you to go in there and get yourself together. I said, okay, cool. But deep down inside, I knew that if I could just make one step, make some kind of effort, that God would help me. And I went in there and I had to go through detox. That was about 60 days. And then rehab was 2 years. And he did. And when I got out, I didn't even have to go to court to get my kids back. They just sent them back home.
He get all the credit. He get the credit for all of us sitting here right now. Because anything could have happened. We didn't have to wake up.
I like to help people. Yeah. I don't know, like, what kind of doctor I want to be yet, but yeah, I've been saying that since I was little. Like, every time my mama asks me, I say I want to be a doctor. She said, you gonna switch? I'm like, no, I don't want to be nothing else. My name is Daisha Stewart. A lot of girls from my middle school and elementary, like, they didn't like me, so they said my attitude was bad and stuff. But I'm goofy if you really get to know me. My daddy, we did everything together. I really wasn't around my mom like that. But we did a lot together. And like, I go over his house on weekends, or when we got breaks of school, I go over there and stay with him. And he'll take me out to eat, get my hair done, all that. And we just have fun together. So, and he'll call me every morning before I go to school if I'm with my mama. So the morning he didn't call, it was like kind of hard. My dad died a couple months ago. And that's been hard. I prayed when day 4 I found out that my daddy was dead. Because I knew he was sick, so I prayed for him to get better and stuff. And then when I got the call, it was just like, I was mad for a minute, like, God just wanted him up there, I guess. It feels good, like, to be around my family every day and, like, just seeing them and stuff. And, like, they always there for me, like at the hospital, and I wake up, they'll be right there by me. It's like, family come first before anybody, so. I got, like, scoliosis. I go to the doctors, like, every day. Like, I miss school, like, a lot. Say if I go to the hospital Monday, I'll be in there, like, I have to spend the night until Tuesday and then go back. They'll let me go, and then I'll come back, like, Thursday night, because I'll be in so much pain that I can't take it. It's hard because, like, my family, they don't like to see me in pain or crying and stuff. So, like, I be, like, bored up, like, on the floor just screaming and crying. I gotta get surgery, but I don't want to. Because, like, I know somebody that died from getting the surgery because the doctors didn't do it. They say I'm gonna be asleep, but I don't like to hear about it, or, like, I don't like pain. I don't like to hear about pain. I just feel like if I get the surgery and they put me to sleep, I'm not gonna wake up. Don't drop me. Act like I'm playing. Whatever can get me to be a doctor, I stay in school as long as they say.
Ethel Rucker, I'm 29. I was born in upstate New York, Rochester. Like, my father, he's still in upstate New York, and my mother is here. And they divorced when I was younger, around 12. I have actually 6 siblings. Some people would see my characteristics or how I am as kind of antisocial, but not really, because I have siblings. So I'm not in need of many friends, if you will. I don't want to have to leave the city to get better education for my children, because right now it's not that good. Ages 10, 8, 6, and 18 months. I have 4. 4 children.
Let's go climb the mountain.
He just had them for the summer, and I get a paperwork in the mail stating that the children have moved to New York and it had his address on it. I'm like, they are still here with me. So I looked into it, and it was like, well, the children was with him for more than 2 weeks, so he's saying that they are with him now. So, and I'm like, that's not true. What's going on? So I ended up packing up everything and leaving, because anyone who knows me knows my children is my #1 priority in anything. Thank God I was able to get into COTS. And being able to be in COTS, that was the first time we had our own beds. They was able to have me go to their clothing store to get like interview attire. And then the empowerment plan went there to do interviews. So I went to their job fair and I did an interview with Miss Scott and some of the other managers. And I was able to get in here. My 2 other sons was diagnosed with ADHD, because some people can see it as, oh, your children's bad, they bad children. I'm like, no, they're not bad, they just need to, I need to redirect them in certain ways, so.
I don't think
If they see the children as individuals, see what their strengths are, and if they have problems, have a plan for them. So children won't slip between the cracks. It's like I gotta pull my children out the bed to go to school every day, because they really don't like their schools, and it's all 3 of them. I feel that Detroit is coming back. It was a lot of corruption, and it seemed like it's getting better. When you walk down the street, you don't just hear gunshots. It's not like that. You can go to the Riverwalk and not get shot at or robbed. I need to get the ball rolling with my education. I was actually attending school in New York College, and that's my main thing. I want to be able to get my associate's degree without any interference.
My mother died when I was 2 years old. Me growing up, I asked a lot of questions about her. It was never a cause for them to hide it from me. They were openly willing to tell me about her. Because it's days where I look through the pictures books and was like, oh, there's my mother. What about her? What stuff do you know about her? I look to my grandmother, my auntie, and other ladies in the family as a mother figure. When I was younger, I used to act around the house, and people would always call me a drama queen, because when we were in the car, I'd just be like, oh no, look at that. And then when she hit on brakes, I just fall for it and stuff like that. And they'd be like, you're such a drama queen, and you need to take up drama. I was like, I'm gonna try to get into drama in high school. Because my dad, he called me a drama queen a lot, so it was just you should take up for drama. When I was younger, I was in the house with my grandma, my father, my brother, my auntie. And then down the street, we had cousins. And then down the other part of the street, we had more family. And then it was just one day in summer, everybody came over, and then it was just all family. We barbecued, we played, and it was just something fun that we had. 3 years ago, after school, my father died in a car accident. It happened on September 5th. I was getting out of school and we were getting on the freeway, and then all of a sudden the car came out of nowhere and hit us. And then when me and my brother got out the car, we seen him laying on the ground, and it was just what just happened? And then I started crying because he looked lifeless, and I thought he was dead on the freeway, and then people was like, he's not dead, he's gonna be okay. Then we got to the hospital. I was in the room with my cousin, and people came in and started talking to her, and me being nosy, I was kind of listening to what they were saying, and that's how I found out.
that he was dead. The next day I kind of felt like this is a dream that I'm not waking up from. It's a nightmare. And then a couple days later I was like, this is reality. It's just, you gotta get through it. My family is the most important thing to me because you growing up with friends, you never know, like they might not be there when you need them most, but you can turn around and rely on family to be there when you need somebody. Some people come and go, but then you look back and you still got family to depend on.
I was born many moons ago, and I was an orphan for 3 years. And I was raised by a foster family with my sister and my other siblings. And my father was more the atheist, my foster father, because he was 5 years in a Russian concentration camps in Siberia. My mother was very Catholic, but very open-minded. She taught me to be a free thinker, and it doesn't matter which religion. As long as there's the respect, there is this welcoming, accepting moment of love. In 2005, I had a house in Miami. I sold it. And I said, now we have enough money to buy a church. Can you believe that? Somebody would say, you crazy? I said, no. So I was searching. In Florida, it's so expensive. And then all of a sudden, Detroit came on the radar, and they had a whole bunch of churches for sale. So I came here in 2007, and I put some bids on churches. And when I saw this church, I said, I'm going to get this church. Detroit was still very run down, and neighborhoods just depleting. But you know, Detroit for me, when I went here, I said, I don't care. I don't see the crime. It happens everywhere in the world. I see who are the people who are living in the city, who struggle. How can we help them? Our clothes and food pantry was very poorly in the beginning, but now it's just flourishing. That has served in the last 5 years 8,000 people or more. People hear about us, and then people talk to people, and we reach out, and then they bring more clothes and more clothes. It's very fulfilling, because when they come, when we give them clothes and food, and you talk to them, you know, and so you see the personal needs, material needs, but you also see the spiritual needs. For me, it's never if you're black or white or yellow or whatever. I never had this in my mind, this concept that there is a different people. It doesn't matter if you're Christian or Muslim or Jewish, whatever it is. As long as you're a kind, respectful person that shows dignity for everybody, something is happening.
I fell in love with boys, and it got to a point where hanging out with a boyfriend was more important to me than going to school. And the tragic part about it is I dropped out in the 12th grade. I wasn't failing anything. I was in accelerated classes, a program called REACH, and that was a college-ready program. All of my classes were basically college prep classes. And I just totally fell in love with a boy and thought that was more important. The worst mistake I could have ever made in my life. But that's what led me to drop out. My motto is, Jesus, well, God, I know that the Lord will not put no more on me than I can bear. Because as far as, hardships, see how I turned the hardship into a blessing. And I said, I know that was the biggest mistake, but now it's never too late, and I'm getting it done. It's a big field on the side of this abandoned house. I'm about to start a community garden, okay? And basically, neighborhood, you never had to buy no vegetables. Once everything grows, anybody from this neighborhood can go pick whatever they want out of the garden. That's beautiful. And that's the revitalization of Detroit, right there. Detroit is it. That's the way I feel about it. Detroit is it. Turn the news on, you barely hear anything good. It's always somebody getting shot, or this school getting shut down. So, you know, it's just exaggerated when there's so many good things going on. All they do is talk about the bad. You gotta look at the positive. I just give my kids motivation. Just give them motivation. You know, stay in school. You do not, don't stop. I advise them to go to school forever. Go stay in the 4-year college. I know, you know, just 12 years in college for all I care. As long as the more education, hey, the more education you have, I feel like you are unstoppable, unbeatable. Nothing can get in your way. Looking at my 2 oldest daughters, and especially my daughter that's in high school, I feel like I try to tell her all the time because she knows that I dropped out. And I felt like me going back to school would give her more motivation to maybe become a 4.0 student, because she is so happy. She's proud of her mama. And that makes me feel so good. She called me and she said, where you at? Because they knew they had no school. I say, I'm in class. She say, oh, I'm proud of you. I was like, oh. Just get my life together. Be a better role model for my kids. And that's why I went back to school.
I keep losing people that's close to me. My name is Renee Carter. I'm 15 and I live in Detroit. My life would be easier if I had 2 parents who were married and that were pretty much together. It was January 18th, 2013. I was in the 7th grade. I think it was on a Monday. I went to school. I was having a good day. So after I got home, my aunt told me that my mother passed away. I shut down. So I was cheerful and such. I was cheerful. I was happy. I was happier. But after my mom died, I kind of closed up. I kind of became more shyer, more not talking to people. So then they ended up making me open up more. My mother and my aunt. My mother, which is my aunt. To me, she's the mother of the year, even though she's not my biological mother. I have more friends here now. I was kind of happy. Everyone in Detroit, even though we aren't blood related, we're like family. Family means to me pretty much, it means that they're supportive, they're caring, and they have each other's backs, even through hard times. Everyone is not against you. Even if you feel that death is your fault. You are a survivor, and if anyone tells you differently, don't listen to them.
Well, it started out like at a very young age. I was trying to fill a void, and I had no clue I was opening other doors that would lead me to homelessness. My name is Demetria Stewart, and I am the material handler at the empowerment plant. I ended up homeless because of different choices and decisions I made in my life led me to homelessness. I lost my mother early on, and that was a lot. It was so important for me to be wanted, to be accepted, to fit in, and just wanted to be loved. I wanted someone to count me in whatever it was. And that means if it was wrong or if it was right. Because I was lost. And I ended up staying in a shelter to get myself back together. And now the empowerment plan had accepted my application, and it opened many other doors for me. Self-esteem is back. I feel good about myself because now that I'm not homeless anymore and I have all my ducks lined up, it lets me know the importance of you don't have to get someone to say they love you or say that they care and you know that they don't. What's important is me to know that I come first. And if I can't love myself first, then there is no time for no one else. I want to give back since I once was homeless. And I feel real good about each stitch I make, knowing that I'm saving someone's life and keeping them warm, keeping them from being laying on the street without any cover or a roof over their heads. It means a lot to me. I want to say to anyone that's out there struggling in any type of situation, stay strong and do not give up. It's not going to be easy. Because in my situation, it didn't happen overnight for me to be homeless. And I put myself there, and I had determination and willpower. I had a made up mind to want better, to do better, to get better. And I'm pretty satisfied with myself today.
To start, can we have you say your name and age for the camera?
Yes, Shayna Taylor, and I'm 30. I have 3 little children, 2 boys, 1 girl. I think for the most part, my childhood was like really good. Like I have a really close relationship with my family. I kind of grew up kind of like shy and quiet and off to myself a lot. From age 18, I would say, on my own as an adult. My mom, she ended up passing away of cancer. And from that point on, it was kind of like a in and out homeless situation where I ended up I had family, but I ended up having to move, and I didn't know where I was gonna go. Afterwards, I went to Wayne State University. I decided to do aesthetics, and I have kids to provide for, a family, so basically I needed to work like right away. And then I ended up losing my job because his father told me at the last minute that he couldn't pick Jalen up from school. So I kind of had to pick him up, and because I was late again, I ended up losing my job. And so I was sleeping in my car, and it was so cold. I remember I was shivering, and I literally thought I was gonna die. I basically ended up financially struggling and everything, and then I ended up at COTS. I got to the point where I said, you know what, I'm an adult and I have children and I have to provide for them, and I love my family and they love me, and they've supported me quite a bit, but at one point you just have to grow up. But when I started working here, I still kind of have bills and owe money, but it's nowhere as bad as before I was employed. because years before I had seen it on the news and I knew I wanted to work here, it's like the perfect job for me. I think my biggest worry is like not being the perfect mom. Like I try to do everything with my kids. As long as me and their dad is in their life and they have grandparents with their on their father's side, I know that they're gonna be well supported. I know it's kind of weird if you say your kids are your best friends, but they've been there like when I was going through like the most difficult times of my life.
So, what do your kids mean to you?
Everything.
But my name is Arkesha Esters. Here I go. I was born in Detroit, west side of Detroit, and yeah, I made it. Working with a sales team, and I met him there. We've been inseparable for 8 years now. We lived in Santa Ana, LA, Sacramento, Columbus, Cleveland, Lansing. We was moving. So to have children, it gave me some stability. I can't go to work every day and so let somebody else raise my children. That don't make sense. I make clothes and I make dolls. I use my hands. I've got a college degree, did that, but no. Being a good mom, that's it. Make sure that I build a strong foundation for them. I guess some people got wind that the house was empty, so they began to scrap on the home. And, you know, any appliances that was in the house, washer, dryer, they took the hot water tank, you know, the guts pretty much. And so by the time we got here, water had ran in the house for a few months. It was an outstanding water bill. I want to say it got up to like $4,000. They put the water bill on our taxes. So whatever the taxes was, plus the $4,000 water bill, we spiraled out of control from there. I didn't go into a payment plan. I couldn't afford to. So that money, I just saved it. Which is hard to save when you're poor. The money you have is not enough. Who want to work 50 years and still have nothing? It's hard. It's a lot of stress to deal with. And you wonder, oh, she's an angry black woman. They angry. Yeah, I'm pissed off. I am angry. I am. Do you know how I feel not to know if you gonna where you gonna sleep? And then if you do find somewhere to live, they gonna charge you $1,000 a month, and you gonna make for $800. Now you can't feed a family off of that. You gonna call and report them, or you gonna keep working? Cause that's the only place called you back. You gonna shut up. It's a concentration camp. So it just makes us more tough, right? And it's people that live in these homes. They're not just addresses. And I'm just one of them. That's it.
There's no love in Detroit. There's too much hatred. That hatred. Like, we all the same people. Like, we come from the same thing. Why do you guys hate each other so much? I mean, growing up in Detroit, I mean, it could make you or break you. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, it depends. Like, it's a lot of bad stuff happening in Detroit, but it's a lot of positive stuff. And I'm like, you mixing good with the bad. And then growing up, like church, the church is where I figured out I had talent. Like I could be something basketball, so I figured that out. I started taking it more serious. I started doing a little bit of the hard stuff that nobody else want to do, like waking up early, jogging, shooting extra shots, little stuff to just get you better at your craft. Sometimes I cope. Basketball is my coping method, though. That's like, some people do drugs to get them. No, I just hoop. That's my drug. I think my grandma the one who put the ball in my hand though. So I mean, I feel like my family is me. Like without them, I wouldn't be the way I am today. I mean, I got some family who do great things and I got some family who do bad things. Well, I mean, I see kind of similar traits in both in myself. Like, I feel like everybody got some good and some bad in them. I feel like I took more than the good though. Took more of the good from my mom's. And my brother, he didn't have a bad temper. He was just a mild person. He was real funny and goofy. Oh, he loved fast cars. My brother got murdered in a car. He got murdered like a drive-by. Michi was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he ended up getting murdered. Like they shot up the car, and a bullet hit his lung, and he died. I mean, it made me more angry. Way angry. Like, angry at the world. I mean, I don't show that though. I mean, I keep it to myself. But sometimes my anger could get the best of me. That's why I feel like I need to improve as a person. Angry people get killed. You can't be young, black, and angry. It don't work. You gotta love others. I try to love others how my family loves me. This is how I gotta be. I love my dad, I love my mom, I love my family, I love my friends, and I love basketball. And I love God. That's it.
When I went to jail, it gave me a chance to think. It just opened up my eyes, It made me aware, it made me wake up. Everything. I got a lot of help, so I love to give back. I have my own place, me and my twins. I'm budgeting my money better. I'm in GED classes, and I have a steady job. I do want to go to college for business. I do want to get my own business, a clothing store. I have a boyfriend. We've been together for 3 years. Everything's good. Yeah, everything's good. I had got used to that fast money, and in the midst of me chasing evil, that's how I met my kid's father, because he was doing the same thing. I knew that wasn't good to be in, wasn't healthy. People make mistakes, I guess. I got pregnant, and when I got pregnant, that's when I decided I didn't want to do it no more. I had to do what was best for me and the kids. So I moved on, and I haven't looked back. I went to jail because me and my kid's father would fight. Well, he would jump on me, and the last time, I said, this is gonna stop. So I fought back. I called the police. They took me to jail. It was like everywhere I would go, people would take from me. And I just felt like I didn't have nobody, Everybody used to call me like the Tasmanian devil, So it's so weird, Now I feel like I'm at peace. I got more patience, maybe because of kids, because before when I was doing all that fighting and rowdy, running streets, I didn't have them. So I had to get it together. just try to, do the right things, because it's not worth it. At the end of the day, you can't give up.
There's so many things that have happened to Detroit. You can go right down the list. The 67 riot, the oil embargo of 73, 9/11. I mean, to me, it doesn't really matter how we got here. What matters to us is how do we go from here to where we want to go. I believe Detroit is on the front porch of the greatest urban comeback story in this nation's history. And it's because we've learned to put our petty differences aside and focus in on things that benefit the whole community. That's why we're going to be successful. I'm one of the folks that decided to stick around and see what would happen. We've lost over 1 million residents, so there's only about 700,000 of us left. But for those of us who stayed, I think the best days are ahead. When my son was 2 and my wife was pregnant with our daughter, there was an abandoned home behind our house that turned into a crack house. And I didn't want to move, and at the same time I didn't want my kids growing up in and around that negative energy. I loved my family, of course, and my kids in the city, and I didn't want to leave. So I got together with a couple neighbors on a Saturday. We boarded up the abandoned home. When the drug dealers came back, they couldn't get in, so they got in their Jeep and they left. And that's really how it started. There's so many different things that we do. When people say, well, what do you guys do? I said, well, name something. We do everything. We trim the trees, cut the grass, put in new swings and slides, and basically do what the city should be doing. And we also know the power of music and poetry and jazz. It really some of the things that make being a human a good thing, And when you let artists in, I don't know if you've ever tried to herd cats. It's impossible. Same thing with artists. You really can't. What you can do is throw paint and paintbrushes at them and kind of get out of their way and give them walls to work with. So corralling artists don't work. Corralling cats don't work. But that creative energy, that positive energy, has really allowed the village to be a very special place. This work can be very intoxicating, very addictive. And it's almost like that character right there with all those arms. See all those arms? It's like an octopus. When you try to get out, one of the arms will grab you back. It's so rewarding. At the end of the day, it's worth it. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a bookkeeper. I'm not an attorney. I'm none of that. I'm more of a starry-eyed dreamer. Once I get something in my gut and in my heart and in my mind, it's automatic. It's like, even if I wanted to stop, I couldn't. Because I know that I can make positive change, I have to. I believe in the impossible. And then my job is to convince everybody else to believe in the impossible. And once you've done that, then anything's possible.
A letter to America from the people of Detroit. Dear America, you have forgotten us and everything we've given to you. All the blood, sweat, and tears we shed for you, the cars and music we made for you. But there's no one we'd rather give it to. We tried and tried to stay alive, but you gave up too soon. I guess Willie was right. There's no knowing where we're going. But what I do know is that we'll keep growing. Detroit was a place where people dreamed to be. Hope and virtue as far as the eye could see. A place where people could build their legacy. There's parts of the city the media never gets to see, or they choose to look away. No one notices the joy and hope that resides. America, you need to open your eyes. Postscript. But what do I know about living in this city? A place where the media is never uplifting? I wanted to give them a voice and tried to help. But I'll let the people of Detroit speak for Detroit themselves.